South Carolina back in the spotlight regarding abortions in the state. A highly controversial bill is being reintroduced that would punish women with the death penalty if they receive the procedure. The legislation was originally proposed in January 2023 and is set to be reintroduced during the next legislative session, which begins in just a few weeks. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, U.S. Supreme Court justices are set to take up a case that centers on a 2018 executive order from Governor Henry McMaster. It ordered the state health department to deem abortion facilities unqualified to provide family planning services under Medicaid. Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes here. And Khalif, why the push here to deem abortion facilities unqualified?
Well, it's if you can make sure that the pool or the access to getting abortion is limited, then now that gets to your end game. If you're in a state that's attempting to limit abortions in your state, well, if you have a wide net of where people can go, I limit the multiple opportunities for them to do it and centralize it just to hospitals. So now I can shift my focus to how do I limit it within the hospitals. This is centered into the grand scheme of it. Something that's also happening is now trying to figure out how you limit the access to the pills. So you had a number of different avenues that folks in Republicanly held General Assemblies have been attempting to do across the country, and this has followed that same format. If I make sure that I can limit where they can get it, now I don't have to legislate 3 to 4 different places. I can just legislate the one area and figure out how I can manage it or limit their access.
You know, after the Dobbs decision, the Supreme Court had heard several abortion cases related to this. How do you think they're going to rule out on something like this?
This case is kind of a mixed bag. I mean, if you look at what they've done since Dobbs, it's always been kick it back to the states. I mean, that was what they've said, that you don't have a constitutional right to an abortion and that it will be decided on the state-by-state basis. And so you would think if you're looking at most recent precedent, let's kick it back to the state and see exactly how they should do it. But I think they'll look at a couple of things, specifically a state's ability to manage and regulate their own Medicaid in their state. And so I think if you're saying that, it goes in favor of South Carolina. But then you're also looking at a couple things about the impact that it would have on access to proper health care. And so then that would go to the other folks that want to keep that there. I say it could be 50-50 now because this is a very unique situation. While you've seen states do similar things like that, even in North Carolina, attempt to say that specific types of abortion can only be done in a hospital. This is a whole removal of having it done at any type of clinic, which is different than I've seen in other places. So right now, I'd say it's 50-50, but I'm leaning heavily towards it going back to South Carolina and then being allowed to keep this in place.
Yeah, South Carolina being slammed by critics nationwide for something what they call extreme of the death penalty regarding the proposal to punish women with the death penalty if they've received the abortion. 2 questions here. Do you think this is going to pass? And if it does, will it be challenged all the way up to the Supreme Court?
This is something that they had on the books in 2023, or at least attempted to roll out in 2023. You're talking about the South Carolina Prenatal Equal Protection Act. I think that it didn't have the votes then. It probably still doesn't have the votes now in the past. But if it does make it, if it does pass, instantly challenge it on a couple of things. First, talking about the 8th Amendment of our Constitution against cruel and unusual punishment. So I think that one, if it makes it to the Supreme Court, stops it. But even if we're not saying it stops it with the 8th Amendment, I think we have a couple of other issues and concerns with it, trying to figure out how can you penalize this. Remember, we had this in Louisiana earlier this year when they're attempting to say any stage of life, a fetus is now a person. So if you're saying at any stage of life the fetus is a person, now you're opening up the door for the IVF argument. And you recognize what happened then. Instantly they went back and they changed that. And so if something like this is passed in South Carolina, I think it will be problematic, not just on the Supreme Court level, but they're opening up a can of worms that they don't want to have touched.
Yeah, and we are certainly going to keep following this going into the new year in 2025. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.